You're watching TelecomTV's exclusive video coverage of the MEF annual members meeting here in Vancouver. I'm joined now by Pascal Menezes, who is Principal Program Manager, Skype for Business at Microsoft. Pascal, nice to talk to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
In context here, you are one of the co-founders of the MEF.
Yes, well, way back in the early days.
In the early days. So you've seen this industry and what the MEF's been trying to achieve over the years. What would you say are the main issues at the moment then that the MEF and its members really are looking to address?
Well, I think, way back when we started this, the whole idea of Metro Ethernet or even Ethernet as a service to deliver past the LAN was blasphemy. And, it's come a long way to go, Metro Ethernet, now Carrier Ethernet, and they've delivered Carrier Ethernet 2.0, which is Ethernet with a bunch of services, like quality of services, protection services, now even goes into between providers, right? So it's a very powerful concept. So now, the whole idea of where they want to go next is, I think, is a very powerful model of how do you build this fabric so it has even more intelligence, that can be programmable, elastic, and has these services that you can instantiate, on demand and very rapidly.
So does this all fit into the MEF's model of the third network?
Yes, exactly. It's actually a really great concept that they're thinking this way. It's a third network that is a modern network. It is business grade quality. It handles the right quality of service for what the business wants. Is a really powerful model, and elastic is really important. As the applications want more bandwidth, it gives them more bandwidth with that quality. Something that the internet can't do.
Why are we talking about elastic services like this? What are the applications and services that are stretching our limits and forcing us to rethink our architectures?
Yeah, it's actually interesting. So I work in the Skype for Business unit. And so Skype for Business, for people who might not know what that is, it means I work in the Skype group, but versus the consumer, we're building this whole technology that Skype has in the enterprise or the business grade. And we've been doing this for a while. It was formerly called Link. So basically, that technology has a lot of demands from the network. It's very reliant on the network to behave right. And it's not just our application. All unified communication applications that are real-time media-based, that has that interaction of voice and video, has this real-time needs from the network. And if the network doesn't deliver, then it's a problem.
So how do we get the network to deliver?
So that's really what I think the third network is that basically, the details behind that can get more and more technical. But the bottom line is, if an application can give its intent and says, I'm going to set up a voice call, and here's some qualities about the voice call I need, and then the network just says, okay, voice call started, and then just builds the right fabric connection through the fabric with the right services to meet that demand of the application. That's very powerful.
So how do we orchestrate all of this?
Well, the third network, they're talking about this kind of orchestration engine called the LSO, right? This lifecycle service orchestration is very powerful because as an end user app, we'll have servers that take in all the requests from the end users, making calls and everything. And those servers can communicate down to the LSO and saying a voice call is starting or a video call, and basically, and then the LSO goes down and looks at the two endpoints they're trying to call and programs the network, to behave in the characteristics that we want. And then if suddenly we add in a lot of video and we bring more parties and we go to high definition, the network just expands and becomes elastic to that demand.
How standardized does this all have to be? What's the role of open software and openness in this?
It's a good point. I've actually been very lucky because I've been chairing many committees in this area. In the IMTC, I've been chairing this whole idea of unified communication, SDN, software-defined networks. And we've been defining the use cases around how does unified communications program this network, for what use cases like quality of service, or even, if the session's going wrong, to tell this LSO or, this third network, hey, I'm having a problem, do something, repair it, or find out where the fault is, That is really, truly remarkable thinking. So in this kind of position, we've been defining these use cases, and then we've been liaison to the Open Network Foundation, ONF, we've defined the actual interface. We've actually defined this interface down to this kind of LSO or third network, or the SDN networks. And that's really what we've done. So now we want to tie all this together. It's all standard, all open, tie it into how this LSO consumes it, and then what it does underneath is abstracted to us. But that's the whole idea. And all of that, you want to have an open model so that people can just use any parts to make that all work.
Is the industry fully vested in this? Does it fully understand the needs and where we need to move to?
You know, it's a good question. I mean, technically, you know, the technoids that, you know, are the geeks like us, we certainly understand it. But the end users just want high quality. They just want the app to work, right? They don't want, they don't want it to freeze, and they don't want to have, what would you say, and all the distortions, and, they just want it to work flawlessly. And they're used to that. They want a business quality, session, unlike the consumers that will tolerate, bad connections because they're not paying for it. Businesses are paying for it, and they expect it, and they're used to the toll quality voice that they get, the business grade voice that they get today from the old PSTN network, high quality, and they want that to just work flawlessly. And in unified communication, it's really hard because from that single purpose device, it could be your smartphone, it could be your tablet, your laptop, and it could be on Wi-Fi. You just suddenly want it to work. You're spitting out voice packets, and you're doing video packets, and you're doing data, IM presence. You're doing a web, like a webinar or web conferencing, all happening with different packets that wants different treatments. And so how does the network behave to all that demand? And then as you move our services into the cloud, it becomes really problematic. So the third network is to address that kind of model.
Excellent. Pascal, very clear indeed. Thanks very much for joining us today.
Thank you.